Timeout!
Hi world, welcome to Timeout. My name's Tom Behmer. I'm not with Paula Abdul, unfortunately. I didn't promise to anyone that she would be here. I promised in my heart to myself that she might be here. That didn't end up being the case. So instead about talking about great music from the 1990s, it really wasn't that great. Let's talk about football instead, and let's start by talking about West Point-Beemer because they are having the greatest season they've ever had, including the 90s. Up to this point, they're now 5-0. We talked about West Point-Beemer a little bit as we've gotten to this point in the year, but they were looking for that signature win, which they kind of got on Friday night. O'Neill has lost 3 games in a row, but it is your defending Class C1 state champion. And West Point-Beemer picks up a 41-21 win over the Eagles. At halftime, they actually trailed 21-14 and then outscored O'Neill in the second half. Do the math because I can't right now. 27-0, that's what it was. Hunter Pilikowski, 18 carries, 127 yards to lead the Cadets. On the season now, Pilikowski has 841 yards rushing to go along with 11 touchdowns. Now here's the thing about West Point-Beemer. They have a game this week that they should be able to win at Madison, but next week on October 6th, they are at Wayne. And if everything goes right, Wayne and West Point-Beemer are both going to be undefeated playing against each other on the football field for the first time in history. Guarantee you that. I didn't even look back in history to see if it had ever happened before, but I can guarantee you Wayne and West Point-Beemer have never played while both were undefeated this deep into the season. But in order for that to happen, Wayne has to beat Pearson. Pierce is coming along as the season goes on. The Blue Jays were beaten 28-13 by Norfolk Catholic on Thursday, and a lot of that had to do with missed opportunities for the Blue Jays. They had a drop possible touchdown pass in the end zone, threw 2 interceptions in the red zone, had another touchdown called back, a bad field goal snap. All of that kind of pieced together, and Norfolk Catholic was able to take advantage, especially with Dylan Couts. 24 carries, 190 yards, 4 catches, 84 yards, 3 total touchdowns for Couts, and he truly was the difference. Between the tackles, it was a fairly even football game, but when you have the fastest kid on the state on your team, if you can get him in space, which Norfolk Catholic did, it makes a difference. Couts now, just a junior, he's over 1,000 yards already this year. That's 3 years over 1,000 yards. We're only 5 games into the season. Norfolk Catholic looking good atop the NSA wildcard point standings, as well as the Northeast Nebraska Daily News Class C football ratings. Now another team that looked very impressive on Friday night, Lutheran High Northeast, bouncing back from their first loss of the year with a 49-6 win over Stanton. And Lutheran High Northeast, they were pretty serious about this in the first half. They wanted to take control of the ball, take control of the line of scrimmage. They did. They converted 3 fourth downs in the first half. They ran 39 total plays in the first half to Stanton's 14, and they ended up with 417 rushing yards in the game, led by Carell Colmoose, 16 carries, 197 yards, and I got his name right the first time. I am the champion! Trevor Menard, still can't do that one. Jackson Cant also over 100 yards for the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles, 20 carries, 105 yards. Like the teams I've mentioned before, Lutheran High Northeast with a big game this week, and that's against Hartington Cedar Catholic in Norfolk, 3 p.m. Saturday. The Eagles, if they can win that game, that really kind of jams up who's atop the C2-4 district. Cedar Catholic right now and Ponca are both unbeaten. Lutheran High Northeast with 1 loss is right there as well. Cedar Catholic, they got to their undefeated mark with a win over Battle Creek. They beat the Braves 21-6 by outscoring them 21-0 after halftime. A big reason for that, Jacob Kaiser, 171 yards on the ground, including a touchdown. Battle Creek played the second half without Weston Johnson. The senior running back was injured in the first half. He got them on the board with their first half touchdown. Not sure exactly the severity of Johnson's injury. They'll find out as the week goes on. Another team that is in the playoff hunt and will be in the playoff hunt as the season winds down, Chambers-Wheeler Central Ewing, and they're in that playoff race despite a loss to Burwell on Friday, 38-20. This was Chambers-Wheeler Central Ewing's first regular season loss since October 2nd, 2014. Yeah, 22 straight regular season wins for CWCE. The Burwell defense held Daniel Leibolt to 12 carries for 44 rushing yards. Coming into the game, he was averaging over 20 yards per carry. 20 rushes on the season, 10 touchdowns, over 400 yards rushing. Carter Croxon did step in and carry the ball 18 times for 172 yards for the Renegades, but it wasn't quite enough against a very talented Burwell team. Another area team will face Burwell this week, West Holt, which has its 1 loss on the year, 50-37 to Creighton. The only team that's challenged Creighton this year. They'll also likely challenge Burwell, possibly even beat Burwell. You can read about that in the Norfolk Daily News. You can read about it online at norfolkdailynews.com. We won't have video of it next week, but I will talk about it next week if you come back to watch me and all my friends on Timeout. Until you come back, I'm Tom Behmer. Bye.